الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this episode of In the Shade of Ramadan. Inshallah, today we're going to be talking about a very important aspect of Ramadan. It's a very important aspect of every Muslim's life, and that is awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I will talk about this subject first by telling an interesting story, an interesting historical story. This is the story of a man who lived in the time of the Tartars, and he was someone who was very concerned about being guided. SubhanAllah, he was thinking about one of the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, where he said, قُلْ آمَنْتُ بِاللَّهِ ثُمَّ اسْتَقِمْ. Say that I believe in Allah and then stay straight. And so he asked one of the ulama, he asked one of the scholars at that time, please advise me about how I can keep this advice of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So the scholar told the man, all you have to do is repeat these 3 phrases to yourself over and over again. When you wake up in the morning, say it. Before you go to sleep at night, say it. And when you leave the house to go about your daily affairs, repeat these words. And these words in English are, Allah looks at me, Allah watches over me, and Allah is a witness over me. In Arabic, Allahu nadhiri, Allahu raqibi, Allahu shahidun alayh. So this man, subhanAllah, he said, not only did I repeat these phrases when I woke up in the morning or when I went to sleep at night, I repeated these phrases right before I wanted to commit a sin, and it would stop me. And I would repeat these phrases every time I wanted to do good, and it would make me do more. And so as he's repeating and repeating these phrases, he became a very righteous man. And he joined the Muslim army at that time. He became a great soldier. And during this time, subhanAllah, he had a dream. He was lost in the desert. And he's crying on a rock. And as he's crying on a rock, a group of people come to him. And this group of people are also high-ranking soldiers. He says they were so beautiful, they were handsome. And they grabbed him by the shoulders and they said, Qum, ya Mahmud, stand up. And they told him, this is your way to Egypt. You will defeat the Tartars. So this man then went to the same scholar. The scholar's name was Al-Izz ibn Abd al-Salam, a very famous scholar in Islam. And he told him the story. And the scholar told him that this is a true vision. This is a vision that will come true for you. So subhanAllah, who is this man that I'm talking about? Who is this person that was so concerned about wanting to be guided and wanting to feel Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's closeness to him? This man, his name was Saifuddin Qutuz, the famous opener of Egypt. If you would like to know more about this man, there's a movie out there today. It's a cartoon movie for children, but you could put it into any search engine and find it. It's called The Lion of Ain Jalut. This is the story of a heroic man who reached this level of heroism for Islam because he was able to conceptualize and internalize this concept of feeling and of always being aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's presence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about himself being close to us in the Quran. In Surah Al-Mujadala, he says,
أَلَمْ تَرَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مَا يَكُونُ مِن نَّجْوَى ثَلَاثَةٍ إِلَّا هُوَ رَابِعُهُمْ وَلَا خَمْسَةٍ إِلَّا هُوَ سَادِسُهُمْ وَلَا أَدْنَىٰ مِن ذَلِكَ وَلَا أَكْثَرَ إِلَّا هُوَ مَعَهُمْ أَيْنَمَا كَانُوا ثُمَّ يُنَبِّئُهُم بِمَا عَمِلُوا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says there is not a group of people, there is not 3 and that Allah is not the 4th. There is not 5 and that Allah is not the 6th. There is not less than that or more than that, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with them wherever they are. So repeating these 3 things. Actually, when I was preparing this, I decided to try it out. And I started to repeat these phrases to myself one night as everyone was asleep and I wanted to try to make some use of my time. And subhanAllah, as I started to repeat these phrases to myself and I started to feel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me, I stopped, I got off the internet, doing something that's, even reading articles that could be beneficial, but there's priorities. You could be doing better things. And I started to get myself busy in better activities, things that were a priority for me at that time. And I really felt the impact. And subhanAllah, this is something that shows you that when you feel the awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you want to do the best. You don't want to do just something that's good. You don't want to do something that's okay. You want to do the very best. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he described ihsan. He said that ihsan is worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as though you see him. And even though you cannot see him, it's as though knowing that he sees you. And subhanAllah, that feeling of knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you, and that it's not from far away. No, he's closer to us than our jugular vein. That not a thought passes through our mind and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't know about. When you feel that's how close he is to you, that close to your being, subhanAllah, you start to do more, and you start to do your best. Umar radiallahu anhu, he has a statement that I like regarding ihsan. It's very practical. He says, ihsan is like rolling up your sleeves and then striving. When you feel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching, you don't just want to do good, you want to do your very best. So this Ramadan, inshallah, feel the awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and give Ramadan and the rest of your life, inshallah, the very best. Thank you. And jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.